Hello and welcome to another episode of the Naughty Grapevine, series dedicated to expanding your appreciation of wines and spirits. This particular episode is all about Cheval des Andes, and I'm joined here with Nathan from Moët Hennessy. Nathan, why don't you tell our fans out there a little bit more about what it is you do at Moët Hennessy?
What is it I do about Moët Hennessy? Okay, so I am Icon Wine and Spirits Ambassador for the group Moët Hennessy. That includes some important brand of champagne, I would say, house of champagne, like Moët Chandon, Veuve Clicquot, Dom Pérignon, Ruinart, Krug, Mercier as well. Hennessy, the Cognac Hennessy, which is where I personally come from.
Right.
And some still wines. Of course, we have some whiskey as well, Glenmorangie, Ardbeg. We have the vodka Belvedere, so the portfolio is quite large. And we are lucky enough also to have some amazing still wines from France, but also from Argentina, New Zealand, many countries basically, even California in the US. And today we will be talking about Cheval des Andes, which is a wine produced in Argentina by a Frenchman, I would say.
Perfect. And for those of you who followed our series, you know we started off our very first episode all about Malbec. So we would have touched a little bit on the Cheval in that particular episode. So tell us a little more about these two houses coming together to make this beautiful wine that we have in front of us.
Right. So I'm guessing that you're talking about the house Château Cheval Blanc in France, in Bordeaux, and the other one called Terrazas de los Andes in Argentina. Historically it started a bit long time ago with a disease called the phylloxera. The phylloxera was a disease that basically made a very large part of the vineyards in Europe disappear more than 100 years ago. The phylloxera, before the phylloxera, we used to have quite a lot of Malbec, very typical grape variety from Argentina. We used to have a lot of Malbec in the Bordeaux region in France. The phylloxera kind of changed the whole game. Now we happen to have a lot more Cabernet, Franc or Sauvignon, and Merlot. Pierre Lurton, the winemaker, the wine director of Château Cheval Blanc, which is a great Bordeaux, what we call a first growth category A, so one of the most prestigious red wine in the world, basically. Pierre Lurton wanted to recreate a wine with the Bordeaux style and with Malbec in the blend, just like it was before the phylloxera. I guess naturally he went to Argentina because this country is known for producing some of the best Malbec in the world. So Pierre Lurton led this initiative until Mendoza in Argentina, and he did a partnership with another house that is also part of the Moët Hennessy group called Terrazas de los Andes, very well known for its Argentinian wines, produced in high altitude for some of them. And he came out with this wine called Cheval des Andes in '99 in Mendoza, with a blend that changes a bit from a year to another, but something consistent is that we always have a majority of Malbec in the blend, which is the historical point of this wine, and some Bordeaux style grape varieties that are always Cabernet Sauvignon for Cheval des Andes, and sometimes, not for all the vintages, some hints of Petit Verdot, which is
now it's described as a wine that ages gracefully, something that I hope to do in the very distant future. What else makes this wine so amazing?
Well, for me, the beautiful aspect of this wine is the two countries that we can find into it. The Malbec aspect of it is going to be quite opulent, a bit warm at some point. And the Bordeaux French style of it is going to, in my opinion, be reflected a bit more on the palate. I hope we're going to have the pleasure to taste that in a few seconds or minutes, but on the palate it's going to be maybe a bit more rigorous, maybe a bit more precise. We're going to feel the tannins that are, I would say, a bit different than a Malbec style wine. So those two facets of the wine make it very interesting in my opinion. And then in terms of aging potential, I think Pierre Lurton, so the director of Cheval des Hommes, describes it very well. He says that Cheval des Hommes is a wine that can travel through the decades.
Yes.
And for me, it's a good sum up of the aging potential and this exciting aspect of this wine.
So how long can we hold a vintage for, would you say?
So the first vintage of Cheval des Hommes, the very beginning was the late 90s, early 2000s, so it's still quite early to know exactly the aging potential of such a wine.
Right.
One thing is sure, I would say a minimum of 10 to, I would say easily 10-15 years.
Perfect.
To be sure.
Yes. And we speak to that because this is a little bit on our higher end in terms of our price point offerings at the store at Naughty Grape. But with further ado, let's have a little taste. Why don't you?
Yes, of course. So Cheval des Hommes 2013. It's a beautiful vintage. It has been quite well ranked. So, for instance, James Suckling gave a note of 98 points for this vintage. 2014 got 95. 2015 got 98 again. In 2006, so the latest vintage released by Cheval des Hommes is 2016.
Right.
And the amazing information is that it has been ranked in the top 10 best wine in the world by James Suckling very recently. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. So big news for us and for this amazing house that is in terms of volume production not that large.
Right.
So we can tell by the color that the wine is well concentrated.
Right.
We have a beautiful texture. And so on the nose, I find it very interesting. It's definitely a Malbec predominant wine in the nose, meaning that it's quite warm. We have some red fruits, definitely some red fruits, and at the same time some spices.
Right.
So my personal opinion would be that the spices maybe come from a bit more from France, and the red fruits, very mature, almost jam of red fruits,
right,
is something quite typical from the Malbec.
Perfect.
So this is for the nose. And now my favorite part of the tasting, the palate.
All right.
All right, so a beautiful palate, a nice attack in mouth that from the very beginning is going to announce a good complexity, a good length, and in my opinion the palate is quite, so it's concentrated, it allows a long finish, and at the same time it's quite fresh.
Yes.
It's quite fresh, and this freshness is something I think definitely brought by the Malbec. So the Malbec is going to allow a good freshness,
right,
and the Cabernet Sauvignon is going to bring definitely that complexity, that precision on the palate. So such a wine, you tell me if you agree or not, but
I love it. I mean, it's the first time I'm actually tasting this particular wine. I've only had the pleasure of having the Terrazas.
There you go.
But I love the way that it, as you said, the finish is very long. I can get that. But it's so pleasant. It's, you just can't wait to have that next sip, which I'm hoping we can cheers to.
Yeah, no, of course. Absolutely.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Perfect.
So on the palate, we also have some leather notes, almost. Leather notes in the way that those spices that we had on the nose at the beginning, I think we find it again on the palate, and it brings something, it brings a kind of maturity aspect to it. All those factors, in my opinion, allowed me to say that this wine would be a beautiful wine with a good meat.
Okay.
So for our vegetarian friends, I think maybe a risotto is another good option.
Right.
But in my opinion, this type of wine is going to go absolutely perfectly with the good meat. And a quick advice that I would give to our viewers is to potentially decant it. If
Well,
you have
I was now going to say that, because from the first sip to the second sip, you can taste the difference with just the air, just opening up those flavors and aromas.
Absolutely.
And it's developing, and it's wonderful. I mean, you have to find one of these bottles at the Naughty Grape and grab it up as soon as possible. Nathan, I want to thank you so much for joining us here today.
Pleasure.
And we hope to see you soon.
I hope to. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody.
Cheers again.
Cheers.